All right, end of the week. We have been speaking about spiritual cleansing all week, and so just to recap the week, we started off talking about prayer, how important prayer is to begin your spiritual cleansing. Then we moved into taking a personal inventory on Wednesday, and a personal inventory to see the different pieces of you that you have as a person that help you move towards your goals. And then on Thursday, we followed that up with starting a gratitude journal. Now, the gratitude journal, again, is to make sure you understand that you are appreciative of the things that have been given to you, the blessings that have been given to you. So today, as I promised, we're going to talk about some examples. This talk is going to be about some spiritual inspiration examples. People who have gone from being bad, right, to doing something that's good with their life. Me being one of those people. But my story is different. We'll hear about that some other time. So first, I have a list here. I want to just run down the list real quickly because I kind of know the stories, but I want to go in order here. First, to start off, of course, we have the movie Catch Me If You Can, which was about Frank Abagnale. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Frank Abagnale Jr. Well, he was the guy doing all this fraud and scams and so pulling all these different little things. So he was very, very, very intelligent. And then as he got caught by the feds, he ends up turns his life around, starts helping them catch people like him. And it wasn't that he had to do it, he willingly did these things, okay? So then we move on to a guy named J.J. Maloney. Now, J.J. Maloney was actually convicted, sentenced, and imprisoned for murder, okay? Had this spiritual awakening. He had some spiritual inspiration that happened to him while he was imprisoned. And when he leaves prison, he becomes this writer, and such a good writer that he ends up getting 5 Pulitzer Prizes, Pulitzer Awards, I should say. And then we have Merle Haggard. Now, the country singers, country people out there probably heard this name plenty of times, but Merle Haggard was a guy. He was sentenced for armed robbery. Okay, and then his life changed when Johnny Cash came to his prison and performed there in the prison for him. Not for him, but for the prison. His life changed after hearing Johnny Cash, right? So he comes out and he becomes this country singing legend. Now, just speaking about Johnny Cash himself was a noted drug addict and alcoholic, and after finally getting convicted of some type of crime for the drugs and so forth. I'm not going to get charged, to put it that way. He's charged for the crime, so some having drug possession. He actually had some spiritual awakening himself, and he changed his life around, stopped using the drugs and so forth. Let's go a little bit more spiritual side of it as far as religious side here. And so I'm going to give you one main example again from the Bible. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a professional speaker on the Bible, but I do know this, that Paul of Tarsus was one of the most ruthless people from the Bible. The man was running around just slaughtering everybody with this ox head. He was running around just just popping boys upside the head with this ox head. And he was just killing everybody, right? Then along came the man Jesus, came over here and showed him a different way, and the man changed his whole life around completely 180, and just started saving everybody. Awesome. And now the last little story, you may have heard of the name, my guy named Malcolm Little. For most of you who may not know who Malcolm Little, his name is Malcolm X. Malcolm X had a troubled childhood, ends up running around the streets with pimps and hoes and drugs and all this stuff, winds himself up in jail. He had earned the nickname Red. Ends up in jail, right? And he finds the Muslim faith, starts reading the dictionary, starts learning how powerful his words are. Remember that from earlier this week? How powerful the words are. He comes out of jail and starts trying to change the nation around, along with such notable names as Martin Luther King and so forth, John F. Kennedy. So if you think about these different examples of spiritual inspiration, and how when you go through this spiritual cleansing, you can change your life around for something better. Not only have an impact in your own community, but have a a large impact on the larger surroundings, because that story is so powerful. As I continue to tell you, your story is very powerful. So, what I mean by all this stuff is just setting a stage for next week, when we're going to talk about some things about taking massive action. So we have the belief, we talk about the belief and increasing your belief in yourself, and increasing your faith in yourself. But the same token, move from faith to talk about taking a spiritual cleansing, because now I know I'm powerful. Well, how do I get rid of and start off on a solid ground? You got to cleanse yourself spiritually. And now this following week, coming this week here, we're going to talk about massive action and moving forward, heading towards your goals. That's the next step. All right, people, I love you. Again, this is going to be under storytellingoverselling.com/spiritual inspiration. That's storytellingoverselling.com/spiritual inspiration. See you next week. Love you.